Wilt might be my GOAT now.
Yeah, look it up.
And we're not even talking about his off-court numbers.
Yeah.
Those off-court numbers apparently are
saying.
legendary.
I'm just saying.
They're allegedly legendary.
That's why I tell you,
That
he's
might
the
be
only
my GOAT.
Superman to play the game, man. He could do all of that and still go out and get 40, 50
Hey.
points, 60 points.
Just saying.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Roommates, a Playmaker original, where the vibes and my introductions are always immaculate. Today we have the NBA Hall of Famer, 7-time All-Star, 2-time champion with the Knicks, jerseys hanging in the rafters. Y'all hear him observing and preserving on a nightly basis on the broadcast. The legend, Wilt, Clyde Frazier, we appreciate you coming on to the podcast. Man.
Oh, my pleasure, man. And on behalf of the former players, I'd like to say thanks for what you guys are doing for us. We're very proud of you, your success, and obviously good luck in the playoffs.
Clyde, one question for you. You've gone on record saying Wilt has the best case for GOAT. Why is that?
Because without Wilt Chamberlain, it might not be in the NBA. Wilt Chamberlain was the only guy people knew, man. I'm talking in 1970, we used to fly commercial. You go through an airport, they go, are you the Globetrotters or Wilt Chamberlain? That's the only people they knew. We were the Knicks. Nobody knows that, man. So without Wilt Chamberlain, man, and Bill Russell, there wouldn't be an NBA today, I don't think. There'd be no Jordan or Frazier or anybody. So he was the guy who brought people to the stands and promoted the game, you know. So, and then you look at his records, they're hilarious, man. Come on. Nobody come close to this. They go, Michael Jordan has done this so many times. Other than Wilt Chamberlain, Wilt has done it 50 times. Whatever the record you have, this man is obliterated
50 and
it,
25.
Man. Yeah, right. 100 points in one game. Come on, man. Block shots.
Do you what are your thoughts when people say the 100-point game isn't real?
No, it's real.
I agree with you. I think it's real, but I've seen it all the time that people are like, there's no film, there's no this, no that. Like the 100-point game is a fluke.
No, it was real. Just, you know, in those days, they didn't cover the games like they do now. Mm-hmm. You saw he just had a little 100 paper holding up like that. It wasn't all the hoopla that we have today. So, I mean, the guy he's the only Superman to ever play the game. Man. Come on, man. Average 50 points a game for a whole season. Come on, man.
There's been very short clips of like seeing him running down the court and like how it looked, how like athletic and like how he moved. You know, even obviously those like small sample sizes and like 5-second clips. It looked like he moved so much different than
he was an athlete, man. He was a high jumper, all kind of stuff in track, volleyball. But his weakness was he had to block your shot. He had to to go down to go up. Mm-hmm. So Bill Russell didn't. Bill Russell could stand straight up and block your shot. Mm. You know, that's why he was a better shot blocker than Wilt. Because when you get Wilt, you fake the shot and he goes in the squat, you can get the shot off. Mm. Yeah, but Bill Russell just be standing looking at you. But those two guys, whenever they played, it was always a sellout crowd. They were, when I was growing up, that's why I followed basketball. Wilt Chamberlain, this guy played every minute of every game one season. Mm-hmm. So once a few games went into overtime. So you would know that he averaged more than 48 minutes a game. Come on, man.
Boy, they would have loved tips. They would have loved tips back then. They killed tips for that now. They would have loved tips and then.
This guy got so many NBA records, man. I'm not demeaning Jordan or any of the other guys, man, but this guy. Like to me, football is Jim Brown. I saw Jim Brown play, man. Nobody was like that, man. Guys were afraid to tackle him, man. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was so dominant. Baseball, it should have been Hank Aaron, but he didn't play in New York. He didn't get the exposure. You know, so they still talk about Babe Ruth or Mickey Mantle. You know, Willie Mays is there too. Willie Mays was a phenomenal player, but none of these guys did what Wilt Chamberlain. Wilt Chamberlain changed the lane. The lane, okay, George Mike and the lane used to be 3 feet. They moved to 6. Right, George Mikan used to post inside. That's why they call it the keyhole, because it comes like the old-fashioned keyhole. And then Wilt Chamberlain, they moved it to 8 to try to deny him. That's why it is where it is now, because of Wilt Chamberlain. Man. Yeah. Okay, goaltending. Used to shoot the ball. Wilt Chamberlain just jump up and grab it out of the air.
They added the goaltending rule because of.
Right. Or they just throw the ball up to the basket and he just funnel it into the basket, man, like that. That's why they changed that, the goaltending rule, man. So all these different rules because of this guy, man.
Damn, Will might be my GOAT now.
Yeah, look it up.
And we're not even talking about his off-court numbers.
Yeah.
Those off-court numbers apparently are
Saying.
legendary.
I'm just saying.
They're allegedly legendary.
That's why I tell you,
That
he's
might
the
be
only
my GOAT.
Superman to play the game, man. He could do all of that and still go out and get 40, 50
Hey.
points, 60 points.
Just saying.
I guess I'm the mature one here today for once.
Yeah.
Usually it's not me.
I love
might-
catching.
I didn't
Jalen
say
Card.
anything. I just said
You agreed.
I said allegedly they're legendary.
Clyde agreed too. Everyone agreed.
And
Well, they all laughed.
my greatest team is the 67, 68 Sixers. Wilt
That's your greatest team of
Chamberlain,
all time?
Wally Jones, Hal Greer, Billy Cunningham. Yeah, those guys were the greatest team I ever saw. They kick your butt and still win, man. They were so physical.
That's your greatest team ever.
Yeah.
I feel like you got something to say. 'Cause
No, I don't have
Say
anything
what
to
you
say.
gotta
You wanted
say.
him to double down on it.
No,
so-
no. I wanted to. I was saying, was it his favorite team or was it his greatest team? I was just clarifying. Don't look at me like that. I had nothing to say. A man can have his own opinion.
You have a greatest team? Who do you think is the greatest team?
Who is my greatest team? There's a lot of teams you could choose from. Obviously, this era, people would say the Warriors. But, like, I don't know. Something about that three-peat Lakers. And also,
But
obviously,
that's 3 different teams, technically.
well, I said you could say any Warriors team, so that can be any Warriors team right here.
No, obviously, I mean,
You're pissing me off today.
come on. I'm just saying, we want you to be specific.
If I had to choose, I would pick 16, 17 Warriors or 17 to 18 Warriors. Whichever one you want to
72
choose.
win team?
No, the 73 win team. And they lost, so they lost that year, so it doesn't count. 72 win Bulls or the 01 Lakers. For me, that's
What about you? What's your best team post 1990?
I would go with Jordan and those guys, yeah.
I don't know how you
Grant, Pippen.
can't, like,
You can't argue
it's
it.
like you can't go into the game like, we got a chance today. Like, no.
When
Do
they-
you?
they got 5 losses in 60 games.
You have 5 losses in, bro, no. So, Josh, we got Tommy John, second skin. Makes me feel confident, comfortable. I just can't go a day without wearing this stuff, man. It's just amazing. What are your thoughts on that?
For me, man, it's comfortable. It's lightweight. The biggest thing for me, it doesn't ride up your leg. I think that's the biggest thing. I like being comfortable. I hate boxers riding up your leg. You got to pull them down, doing all that, man. I love these because they don't ride up. They're comfortable. They're lightweight, man. So shout out to Tommy John.
How many times are you going to say it? They don't ride up?
They don't ride up. I said it 3 times.
The same.
We're doing a
bro.
promotion.
Promotion. What's so funny?
I'm just happy that I found boxers that don't ride up. Get 20% off your first order right now at TommyJohn.com/roomies.
Make sure you get a pair of Tommy Johns today.
Is the Warriors dynasty as we know it over? Are we going to see them together again? Does getting bounced from the play-in end the dynasty?
I don't know. I would say
Matt's trying to get us a clip. That's
he is trying to get us a clip.
Sorry, we don't have to answer.
With
No,
today's analytics,
was-
they're done, man.
Here's a
They're
clip.
done. With today's analytics, they're going to look at the analytics and say, hey, man, we got to move on. We got to change this team. They're not going to rerun and redo it, I don't think. They're going to break it up.
I would say yes, but if there was a team to like say like, all right, we want to give these guys like a proper way out. We want to retire them Warriors, and I mean that's another way to do it. For
sure.
Because they've obviously done so much for what they are now. Like they're the number one team in revenue-wise or whatever, most expensive NBA team, whatever. So
Yeah, I think it all depends on like what.
what they want to do. Like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
just- there's no complete answer. If it was any other team that like obviously didn't do what they did, they'd be done.
Right.
But they won 4 chips. Like you gotta kind of respect that.
Give them a nice
Yeah.
soft landing. I mean, makes sense. Best team in the modern era.
For sure.
And the front office deserves a shout out too. I feel like their front office is one of the greatest front offices in the modern era too, not just
Yeah,
the
but the
players.
guy who did that is gone.
I would say I would
Really on
say
TV
I would say,
vibing.
I would say that's the reason why he left. Because maybe not coming to an end, but like he probably didn't want to make that decision. That's a tough decision to make.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he made a good decision.
It's a tough
It's
decision to
business,
make.
Sitting in the
though,
booth
man. It's
instead of-
business,
I know
man.
it's
Yeah,
business,
watch
but
it.
that's why maybe that's a reason why he was like, I'm out.
It's
Yeah.
business, man.
Sometimes you don't want to make the tough decisions.
Yeah,
That's all.
for sure. Hey, what would you have said in the 70s if someone told you that in 50 years there would be someone who's 7'4", plays like a guard, and pulls up from 30 feet?
Yeah, I wouldn't have been able to fathom that because the big guys didn't shoot the ball back then. You know, they just posted inside. Wilt, Bill Russell, you know, Jabbar, all these guys never came on the perimeter. So I would have never seen the game evolve in that way. And the plus two today, the size of the players, you know, what they can do, man. 6'10", 6'11", they are doing that, what we were doing at 6'3" and 6'4". So it's been an incredible change to the game.
What have been some of the other biggest changes? I mean, obviously the 3-ball, right? The sheer
The
amount of
three ball
attempts.
was the biggest impact on the game because we always had like Frazier and Reed, you know, West and Chamberlain, you know, Russell and Havlicek. All these teams that won the championship, you always had the good guard and the good big man. So now they are looking at the 3 big guys. You know, nobody's looking at. So it's going to be interesting now with you guys with Embiid, you know, being the big guy, and what's the other guard that Maxey. See, so those 2 guys are now going to be in that position to try. They're averaging like combining for 60 points a game. You know, so that's more like when we played, the big guy and the little guy would be having a lot of points. So it's going to be something to deal with.
If you're a basketball junkie, then you know there's no better time than the NBA playoffs.
Twice a week, JJ Redick is cooking on his podcast, The Old Man and the 3.
He has guys come on the show at all different stages of their career, talking about all the stories that they've went through as an NBA player.
Luka, Tyrese Halliburton, Devin Booker. Even we've been on there, but my episode was definitely better.
In addition to player interviews, JJ every Monday talks about the top 3 things that happened around the NBA that week, including having analysis on masterminds like Tim Legler and more. We need a breakdown on every Josh Hart technical and or kick to the back of the head.
You won't find another outlet that covers the game as comprehensively as JJ does on The Old Man and the 3.
Make this your companion podcast during the playoffs.
Listen to Old Man and the 3 ad-free on Wondery Plus or wherever you get your podcasts.
This is a stat Cam pulled, but in the entire 1980s, there was 19,042 three-pointers made. And the 2023-2024 season, there was 31,221.
Yeah,
Good Lord.
almost every shot is a 3 today.
To the point where if it's a long 2, you kind of get scolded a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Like that's a bad shot.
Bad shot.
Like, yeah, how do you feel? Because, like the analytics, right? The analytics is basically threes and layups. But, like, someone who's played in the NBA, who's watched the NBA for I don't know how many years, like, what are your thoughts on that? Are you like a good shot's a good shot? Or are you...
Well, see, I see a guy like DeRozan. You know, he's got the mid-range game in his repertoire. Durant. So a lot of these guys, I don't think you should ignore the 2-ball. If you're in that scenario, shoot it. I think you should have that versatility.
I feel like so many people take away their game plans are like take away threes and take away layups, and so they're giving you twos.
Yeah.
At some point during the game, it's going to be close, and you're going to need to make that shot.
Yeah.
So, is it the shot you come down and shoot every time? No, but you got to learn how to make it. I don't think it should just be like wiped out.
Right. I mean, you look at two of the greatest scorers ever, like MJ and Kobe. Like if they get to the elbow, it's going.
It's over.
That's their
Just
spot.
go back on defense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a mindset today. Like I see guys in the paint, and they don't even look to shoot. They throw it out for the three, man. They're right underneath the basket. So, but all the teams do that. Everybody does that. So,
Like, I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's like drastic. Like the change has been drastic. It's like you have coaches saying like, "Yo, no twos, like no mid ranges, do not shoot them." And then at some point, you're gonna be in a close game. That shot's gonna be wide open, and you haven't taken one rep of it all year. And then you go to shoot it, and it's not gonna go in because you're just uncomfortable shooting the shot. So I'm not saying you gotta, like I said, not shoot it all the time, but you got to work on all different types of shots, in different parts of the court to add to your game because you never know when you're gonna need it.
see, that philosophy is a detriment because I see guys with a one shot, they only need 2 points. They don't need 3, and they're taking the 3 ball rather than you only need 2, man, to win the game.
Right.
So it's 2 got to be an easier shot, it seems to me. But if you come to the game early, you never see anybody shooting 2s. Everybody's shooting the 3 ball. That's it. It's the name of the game. But I'm amazed how these guys do it, man. It's just incredible, the range, what did they shoot with today.
You've said. Are we gonna say something?
No, I was going to say the range and then, like, the mechanics sometimes. Like, we had practice today, and I forgot. Someone threw, like, a cross-court, like, skip past to bogey. He just caught it. No dip, just caught it, went straight up with it. And it was like, bro, that's...
Oh yeah, I think we looked right. We walked onto the court, looked right at each other. We were like,
that's so tough. Because, like, normally, like, whenever, like, guys catch the ball, they always dip it a little bit. But you know how...
He caught it right here.
Yes.
Like, caught the pass right here, looked at the rim, and just shot it. Like,
Yeah.
it was... And then cash. Like, it wasn't like a nasty make. It was cash.
Didn't touch rim. That, like, catch high, stay high. So it's just, like, the mechanics, like, the range that they were shooting it at, the efficiency, and then, like, how some guys are getting it off is just, like... It's kind of crazy to see, like, how, like, the game is just moving towards that. I don't know.
You feel like a lot of that is like Steph's impact on the game?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Everything's so analytical now. Everything. It's like, there's like...
Well, him back has been a blessing and a curse. Because if you go watch young kids, everybody's trying to be Steph, and they're not. They can't even get the ball up to the hoop.
They're heaving it.
So, yeah, it's been a blessing and a curse, the 3 ball. So, like Jalen was saying, you got to know when to, hold it, when to fold it, man. 2 balls are just as good. Like in baseball, a walk is just as good as a hit. You get on base, man. But that's the philosophy that you have to have on the team, that the coach has to dictate to the players to do that. So
I wasn't allowed to shoot threes when I was young. I was like, when I worked out with my dad or even in games, like everything was like just 2s.
Until your form?
Until like I was old enough to like actually reach the 3-point, reach the rim like comfortably without having like to chuck the ball. So, I mean, I feel like all these kids that grow up now, like they have these, or kids, like they get older and their form is just like not that good because they've been chucking the ball since they were like 3 years old to hit the rim. But like, I think the kids obviously learn from what they see, but like, if you're taught in a certain manner, I don't think that should be the issue. That's my point of view on it.
It takes out the feel of the game a little bit, especially like the analytics. Like even like you see like how that is sometimes. Like some coaches like would just not do any like. Never mind.
No. You gotta say it. No, you gotta say it.
No, I was gonna say like sometimes like coaches like I've been in a situation where not like a couple years ago I played for a coach and it was all like everything about like what's on the paper.
Right.
It's like time, minutes, do all that stuff, and it's like I get it. Like analytics is like, this person's better with this, with this lineup, or he's better playing this many minutes or whatever it is. But it's like sometimes like the analytics takes the feel out the game. It's like, this person might be playing better or normally play better with this guy, but it's like he's hit the last 3 shots. Let's leave him in instead of like, it's 3:47 on the clock. You got to take him out and sub him out.
Right.
I feel like the
Look
analytics
at Batum. It's been 8 years since he scored 20 points in a playoff game. And he ran amok with the threes. You see, that's what you're talking about. What if the coach going with analytics? He wouldn't even be in the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right. So you got to have a feel, man. That's why to be a champion, man, it takes more than the normal procedure analytics. You know, like the other night with Tibbs, he didn't put in Robinson, put in Precious, and he came up big, you know. You got to have that feel sometime, man, of what's going on with the game.
I feel like coaches don't get enough credit for when they do things like that. Like they get bashed when they take somebody out and they lose, but like when they do something like that, like in a crucial situation where you have to throw all the ego out the window and be like, I gotta make a decision based on whether we're gonna win or not.
Yeah.
And so like, I don't know. Sometimes it's tough. It's tougher than people think. Like these are grown men, and you take something away from what they're used to for the win, and it's just like sometimes you don't get enough credit for that.
Yeah. Do you remember when we had our old podcast? Do you remember you made comments about analytics? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I forgot what I said.
So Josh has been notoriously anti-analytic for a while now, but we used to have a podcast when Josh was on the Lakers, and you made comments about not loving analytics. And then between the time that the podcast was recorded and when it went live, the Lakers hired Frank Vogel, who I guess is very into analytics, and they thought that Josh was making a comment about Frank Vogel when in reality it couldn't have been further from the truth. So it was just funny how people spun it.
Yeah, I had to talk. Me and Frank had to sit down after that one. I didn't get in trouble, but I was like, the podcast, they hired him. He's like, we're going to be very analytical. We're going to do this, 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 and this. And then like 2 days later, my podcast aired. I'm like, man, I hate analytics, man. Anyone who really bases anything off of analytics, they're dumb. Da 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 da. Then the next day I see Frank. He's like, yo, Josh, let me holler at you. I'm like, oh man, I already know what this is. And we had a call. I'm like Frank, like this was air. Like we recorded this last week. It just happened to air this time. Yeah.
But you had time to change it.
That's why we have Playmaker now.
Yeah, exactly. We were doing that solo dolo, and that was too much work.
Yeah.
I'd rather, just be like, yeah, Frank, my fault. That was a couple days ago.
Wait.
I didn't mean it. Gore Horseman Pod. Since retiring, which NBA player has reminded you the most of yourself in terms of play style and attitude?
Well, today is difficult because the game has changed. Guys are more specialists. Like when I played, I was a guard. We had to rebound, we had to defend, we had to do everything. Now you have a point guard who doesn't shoot guard that doesn't dribble. So the specialists, everybody's become somewhat of a specialist. So it's taking away the versatility of the guys like when I played.
Okay.
Is there anyone in today's NBA that dresses as well as you did?
I never see the guys. They're always casual when I see them, so I never see them when they go out.
We got this.
I'm always casual.
I hear their style and profile when they go out, but I've never seen them.
I'm always casual. I'm always casual. Actually, I got a couple suits. Couple suits I wear here and there. Not to what he puts on, but
when we played, we used to dress up every game, trying to outdress our teammates and everything, because our idols were the Four Tops, Temptations. So your guys, the idols are the rappers. So you guys emulate more of the rappers when you dress. And we were emulating Motown. Times we were stepping out.
I get that.
Plus, when we went on the road, man, we were in New York. We go into the bar, it'd be like the Old West, the music stopped. I used to have my mink draped over my shoulder. We come in, run the bar, man. Run the bar. So everybody be staring at us. We had fun, man, on the road.
That's love.
we should bring back Fubu.
Fubu?
Yeah, like the baggy, everything baggy.
Well, how about Bufu?
Bufu.
Never heard of Bufu?
Yeah.
Bufu was fire.
Hashim Chowdhury 9. What was your favorite Knicks season that you've commentated on?
This one.
There we go.
This one has the most optimism. Obviously, if Randall was there, I'd be a little more optimistic, but I like the in 1970, I said it was our destiny. You know, with Willis Reed being injured and the way things evolved, if we played the Lakers two more times, they would have beaten us. But that one game, it all fell in place for us. So I see this team kind of on a destiny pattern right now. You know, guys have gone down, but guys have stepped up. So right there, willing to make their legacy happen. So as I told them, we're very proud of them. All the guys that I talked to, the former players and everything, really follow the team. So we're very optimistic about what's going to happen.
At Nick_names, Clyde, who on this current Knicks team do you wish he could have played with?
You in the backcourt. I
That'd
played
been a
with a
crazy
guy named
backcourt.
Earl the Pearl. We were considered the best backcourt ever. So you have similar qualities to the Pearl.
I would enjoy that. To say the least. Be much better than playing with him, honestly.
Big swish. Your favorite food spots in New York or your favorite neighborhood in New York? Clyde's been here since the 1970s. He's definitely has some good food wrecks or some good wrecks. So what's your favorite food spot?
Well, you know, I used to go to Clyde's Wine and Dine. I had my own place over on 38th and 10th before it closed. Today, I rarely go out to eat. You know, I do most of my own cooking. So I live in Harlem. There are a lot of good restaurants there. You know, the Red Rooster, all these different places. So sometimes I step out and eat around there, but I'm not a big guy anymore getting out on the town. My you know, my style and profile in at the game. Then I head straight home after that.
What's your favorite thing to make?
My favorite thing is pasta and chicken.
We had that last night.
Did.
Mm.
At Knicks Memes, who was your fashion role model growing up?
A guy named Dick Barnett. You know, his locker was adjacent to mine. So when I'm 22, he's like 30. And I see how this guy, his diet and exercise, what he used to do to try to hang on, you know. So he had a tremendous impact on me with that, and he was also a sharp dresser as well.
Nick, the Met fan, won. Favorite teammate playing besides Willis?
Besides Willis was probably Earl the Pearl. You know, he was my nemesis when he played with the Bullets. And ironically, when he was traded to the Knicks, they said it would never work. You know, we need two basketballs. But they overlooked our mutual respect for each other. So when Earl came to the team, you know, he blended in, and we went on to win our second championship. So even today, we're very close friends as well.
A New Yorker said, Josh and Jalen, would you wear a Clyde-approved suit these playoffs? It would depend.
Yeah, I don't think I can pull off one of his approved suits.
I can only do it if you did it. I can't do it by myself.
We have to do it together.
You gotta do it together.
Yeah, we have to try to break one out, man.
I would do it for a game for sure.
Imagine you pull up in Clyde-approved suits, getting out of Tracy Morgan's Ferrari or Lamborghini. Whatever.
Yeah, we should do that one game. Either play, suits at that point would be hard.
It'd be a little hot. Yeah,
Next season.
next season. First game of next season?
First game for sure. I'll do it.
SG212 MSG JB Game 7. What Bieber song are you playing before? Please don't say baby.
No, not baby. No, not baby. I would say Company or Somebody. Probably Company though, because that one goes back to freshman year of college.
Nice.
So I'll say Company. At Knicks Memes, what's your favorite thing about the other's game? No matter how Josh is feeling, how tired, how sore, whatever, this man plays hard every single second he's in the game. He can complain.
Practice hard too.
No. He can complain about playing too much, playing too little, but whatever it is, that man is playing hard consistently, and that's hard to find in the NBA.
For me, I would say, obviously there's multiple, but I would probably say the clutchness factor, or like his mentality, the last 3-4 minutes of the game. He's one of the guys that, like, as long as you know you're in 1 or 2 possession game, like you feel good, like you feel confident, like, all right, we get a stop, we'll get the ball to him, like he'll make the right play, he'll get a bucket, he'll get fouled, he'll generate an open shot. So that's probably my favorite, because obviously it goes down to, winning and, yeah. I was gonna say, got big balls, but I was like, I don't know, maybe I wouldn't say that.
Well, you said it, so.
Knicks and Muse, loudest game you had at MSG so far.
It has to be the
Playoff game, yeah.
Every playoff game we had.
That was crazy.
Home opener this year was bumping too, but the playoffs for sure was probably the loudest. Is breast milk the official beverage of the pod?
This is never gonna escape you, Josh.
Nah, it won't. We don't have an official beverage of the pod, so there's an opening there.
When you tweeted that, I don't mean this in a bad way, but like, what did you think would happen? Did you think it would happen?
I knew people would and I also did it like jokingly, so I knew people would have fun with it, but I didn't think it would. I thought I'd be able to escape it at some point.
You thought you'd escape it.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I would say, like,
if there is any breast milk companies that like come out with milk, I for sure would be a great poster child though. Robbie _Dowd 24. Why won't you love me?
Well, Robbie,
there's a lot of avenues to go down. What did you do? Why won't you, like, he had to do something.
I would just say maybe it's.
Maybe it's not you, it's her.
Maybe it is you. You just don't know it. Like, you gotta make sure you brush your teeth. Like, that could be something subtle. It's one thing. Like, not a lot of people call out people for having bad breath, like, to their face. They'll just avoid you. So that could be one thing.
Yeah, deodorant, maybe.
Deodorant. It could stink.
Any advice, Josh, for what Robbie can do to make her love him?
I guess brush your teeth and apply deodorant.
Yeah. Make sure you smell nice. Bring her flowers. Not including Rick Brunson, who were my sports heroes growing up. I'll do sports in general. I'll do all sports. Steve Nash is my favorite players growing up. There's another player in the NBA who I'll wait till he retires to publicly say that. I love Cristiano Ronaldo. Donovan McNabb is one of my sports heroes.
Mine would probably be D Wade, Sean Taylor.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Sean Taylor?
Sean Taylor. Cold.
Yeah. I say Kobe as well, for sure.
Oh, yeah, Kobe.
Kobe, for sure.
Does Jalen need a noggin boss if he wants to wear hats? Probably, because I think we covered on the episode before that he did order some hats and they did not fit. So I think that would actually kind of benefit him in the short and long term in terms of getting a noggin boss. Put your logo on it. Trademark JB. Magic's in the work on the side. I might make one of those.
Sell a lot of those.
Made, and then, like, you know how, like, Nike puts, like, made to the exact specifications of a championship athlete? Yeah, that could be on, like, the inside, made to the exact specifications of Jalen Brunson's head. Yeah, I feel like we're missing a really huge marketing brand on that one. We'll talk offline.
Is Jalen jealous of Josh's Summer League MVP? No. Does he plan on playing Summer League again to catch up? Absolutely not. For those you don't know.
If we play Summer League, that'd be kind of fun. No.
I played Summer League once. Obviously, Josh was Summer League MVP. I think the same Summer League I was in. His second year, going to my rookie year, I played my worst brand of basketball ever. I cannot explain to you how bad I played basketball. And so, yeah, I would never again try and plan on catching up. We have a question in from at Extra Stiff.
Oh, man.
No extra comments necessary, please. Top 5 centers of all time.
Shaq, I'm not doing no order. Shaq, Wilt, Kareem, Elijah. Who am I missing? I'm missing somebody.
You are missing somebody. I would add Bill Russell
Oh,
to that
Bill
list.
Russell, yeah.
Yeah,
So Shaq, Wilt, Kareem, Elijah, Bill Russell.
I like that list.
Yeah, that's a good list.
Are we throwing Jokic in there?
Not yet.
I would.
You'd put him in?
You would?
Top 5?
So far?
Bro,
I was like,
bro
I
has
was-
2 MVPs in a ring. He has back-to-back MVPs.
In how many years?
Could have been 3 in a row.
Yeah, look at that's tough. I was like, ask me that again in like a couple years. Because like the thing with them, they all had longevity too.
I think by the end of his career, he could be a top 5
Yes,
center.
for sure. For sure.
He can be a top 5 center. He can be a top 5 center.
Do you think by the end of his career, Joel could be a top 5 center?
It's hard to crack the top 5.
For sure. That top 5 is tough.
For sure.
Wemby would be up there too. The potential
If you're gonna pick 2 people to
do it.
do it, it'd be those 2
them
that ask
two.
the question.
Yeah.
Clyde, we appreciate you coming on the Roommates podcast. Thank you for all the love that you been showing on the broadcast for the podcast, man. So we thank you. We thank you to the fans for listening, for tuning in. Continue on this journey with us, and we appreciate it.